What's up? It's Whitney Bro. These are some of my favorite videos to film because I just love seeing what's in my makeup collection and things I maybe haven't used or dabbled into for a while. So I'm going to get the products picked out. Okay, so for foundation, I think we're going to use I haven't used it in a minute. Let's use the LA Girl Pro Matte Longwear Foundation. And then for concealer, I don't have a whole lot of choices, but we'll just go with my NYX concealer serum. So for blush, bronzer, and highlight, those are all in this drawer. I always have been using the NYX Buttermelt bronzer, so I'm going to not use that today. And I think I'm actually going to go with my Anastasia Beverly Hills cream bronzer. And then for blush is a little more difficult. I think I'm gonna do I'm gonna do one of my candy paints. Yeah, I'm gonna do the candy paint in the shade American Pie. And then highlighter, I'm not sure what vibe I want to go for with highlight. Actually, I think I'm going to go with my Lottie London and Lailaloves collab. I love this highlighter because it's basically like 4 different highlighters in one. It's got 4 different tones to it, kind of like a silver on the left, and then a pinky color, and then a more champagne, and then a true gold. So I'm going to use that. I've never used all the shades mixed together. Maybe I'll do something like that today. So for my eyeshadow, I've got to think about the blush color I chose, which is very kind of bright and in your face. Honestly, I think I'm going to try to do something with the Surge palette from Blend Bunny. I haven't used that in a minute, so yeah, let's go with the Surge palette. Eyeliner, eye primer, and mascara, those are all in the same drawer. So I don't exactly know what I'm going to do for my eyeshadow yet. So I'm not quite sure what to pick for the eyeliner. But for eyeshadow primer, I'm going to go with my bperfect Prime. I think we'll pick, because I haven't used this in a while, the Benefit They're Real mascara. And then I'll go with I think I might go with this teal eyeliner. This one's really just speaking to me for some reason. So I think I'll go with that one. So kind of inspired by the liner that I picked out, I think I'm going to go and follow this column, even though this is more blue than teal. I think the color I have borders baby blue enough, the liner. So that's what we're going to do. I'm still debating with myself on what order I should do it in, but I think I'm going to go in with the darkest shade first. I'm going to go in right here with this shade called Linger. I like to change up my routine and sometimes go from darkest to lightest instead of lightest to darkest. I feel like it just kind of, it's like a reset almost. Like it helps my skills further develop and not get stuck in the same old same. The next shade I'm going to go in with is the shade right here called Rush, and I'm just going to use that to blend out the edges. I need to get the blends palette. I still don't own that. I should, because it's a great like everything palette. Okay, so then next up, I'm going to go in the shade Energy right here. And those shades are basically the reason that the Surge palette is being discontinued, because there's no, there's an issue with her manufacturer or something. I can't exactly remember. But by far, she has the best neon formula I've ever used. Usually when you use them, they're very finicky and not a whole lot of impact, and hers just have so much impact that it is crazy. I was not liking how this look was coming together, but I am liking it a whole lot more now. Genuinely, I was starting to question everything that I was doing, but it took a turn for the better, and I am very excited about that. Okay, I'm going to go back into that Rush shade and just kind of build it up a little bit just outside the darkest part. Honestly, sometimes I think starting darker to lighter is easier because things are more likely to do what you wanted them to do, because you're not going, you're not trying to create saturated pigment on top of another pigment that you've already blended. It's kind of like each shade gets its own blank canvas, which I really like. All right, so I'm going to go in with that shade underneath the shimmer shade, and I was going to put it on the whole lid, but I think I'm just going to focus it here and then do the shade Flash on the inner corner. I think that'll be more impactful. Not that her shimmers aren't impactful, because they really are. So, how is everyone? How are things? I know the world is a crazy place right now. Not that it hasn't always been, to be honest. A lot of people are showing their true colors right now, and there's a lot of, I don't know. Honestly, I will say it that I'm like low key kind of disgusted in certain people's responses, or lack of a response, I should say, to certain current events, like the genocide happening to Palestinian people and the ICE raids and the subsequent protests in LA. That ICE turned violent, not the protesters. There's just a lot going on, and there's not a lot of people talking about it as far as people who are creators with huge platforms. And it honestly is incredibly disappointing, especially influencers who are Hispanic, who it's like, you should be saying something. I mean, everyone should be saying something, but when it's directly affecting your community and you're silent, it's a little gross. And now I'm just using that shade underneath to blend the two shimmers together a little better. Oh my gosh, I love that. I really hope that the camera is picking up how really pretty that is. My only qualm about this palette, I wish more of the shimmers were the same formula as this one, because this shade Flash is the most impactful shimmer in the palette. Like the other ones are pretty, but they're just not quite to the same level. I'm going to go back in with the two deeper shades, Linger and Rush, and I'm just going to get that built up on the outer corner to blend the shimmer shades in a little bit better. I used to be so good at taking photos of my eye looks, and now I don't know if it's because I didn't take the photos for a while or because I have a different camera that I'm using that's not quite the same quality. But I just suck at taking photos of my eye looks now. Got everything blended, no harsh lines. That's what we love to see. And I'm going to go ahead now and put that eyeliner on because I usually make the mistake and forget about it till my whole face is done. And it's a lot harder to pull your eye down when you're worrying about not messing up the concealer. And this is in the shade Fresh. So we're going to get into concealer. And this NYX concealer is one of my absolute favorite formulas. It just works so well, and you really don't need that much product for it to work well, which is what I absolutely adore about it. I'm going to put a little, and I didn't put any extra product out, basically just getting the excess off the component. So anywho's, we're just going to let that sit for now, and then I'm going to go in with the foundation. I feel like I've used it so much that the pump is no longer, ooh, I definitely just globbed that onto my pants, but we'll fix it. So I'm going to prime really quick with I didn't shop my stash on my primer, but the e.l.f. Dewy Setting Spray Power Grip. And just let that sit for just a second. And then we will go in with the foundation. I basically just am scraping the sides with this, because we're getting what we paid for. I don't care how cheap this foundation is. I forgot how much I liked this foundation. It's matte, but it's matte in a very pretty way. Like it isn't overly crusty matte, because my skin tends to lean dry, so normally I hate matte foundations. But I really do like this, and I think once I finally scraped everything out of the inside, I think I am going to repurchase it. I'm trying my hardest to keep the conversation about makeup, but like I said, when you're dealing with something personally, it gets a little difficult, especially because I also make rant videos. Anyways, back to the makeup. I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Bronzer. I absolutely love this stuff. I paid a very good price for this at TJ Maxx, but honestly, when I run out, I probably will repurchase this at the full price, unless I can't find it at TJ Maxx. If I can find it at TJ Maxx again, I'm buying it at TJ Maxx. But if I can't find it at TJ Maxx in the right shade, I am going to repurchase it full price, because it really is a beautiful product. Like, I don't understand how some of their other products get hyped up online, and this one just seems like it really didn't get a whole lot of love. And some of their other products that seem to be getting a lot of love have terrible shade ranges, like the foundation. I should make a talking shit with Wit about that, but also forgive me if I'm squinting a lot in this video. I don't have my contacts in, so I can't 100% see my face. I'm not joking. But this bronzer is so pretty. You just have to be very careful because you can very easily over apply it to the point where you look cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I've been shown time and time again why considering someone a friend too quickly can blow up in your face. An acquaintance, great, fine. But a friend, that's a little bit of a stretch. So I'm just going to be cognizant of that from now on, and quite honestly a lot less open to, I don't want to say meeting new people because I'm not going to be jaded. I don't want to be jaded because of what somebody else did to me and make somebody else suffer for that. But I am going to be a lot less willing to call someone my friend. Next up is blush. And honestly, I've been trying harder to do better about posting short form content, but it so is not, I don't say it's not me, but it isn't me as much as long form content is. And it's hard when you get the views and things that you hope for on a long form content and you get those on short form content. It sucks because obviously that's an incentive to continue doing the short form content. But I really don't. Short form content doesn't resonate with me the way that long form content does. And I just find it hard to like chase the success instead of doing what I actually want to do, which is long form content. So this video is a little bit all over the place, and for that I do apologize. I never know what I'm going to talk about before I sit down and film. It just kind of occurs. But I really love this blush. This blush is only like $10 on Amazon, I think. And this shade is very pigmented, so you really don't need a lot of it. A little goes a very, very long way. So pretty. And they do make matte blushes as well if you're not a fan of the glowy type of blush. I just personally love a dewy blush. Now I'm going to go in with the mascara, and I love this wand on this mascara because it has a little like spiky ball at the top that you can kind of get into those areas where horizontally you don't always get into with mascara. And actually I fibbed. Before mascara, I'm going to finish up my lower lash line. And I'm going to go back in with the shade Rush right here and just start to blend that under the eye. I love this mascara. I do think when this little sample size runs out that I am going to buy the full size. Okay, so I went ahead and did my lip off camera because I already made a video talking about it, so I didn't want to kind of beat a dead horse. So I will link that in the description box if you guys are curious about it. But I'm going to go in with the highlighter, and I think I'm going to mix a couple of shades. I think I'm going to try to use this kind of pinkier toned one here with the cooler toned one. in the corner, and then we will apply that and see what happens. Ooh. Yeah, Lottie London makes good stuff. I'm sad that they're not carried at Ulta anymore. Like, they might be in store. I'm not 100% sure about that, but they're not online anymore. I do know that. And usually when they're not online, that means they're not being carried by the store at all. Which, like I said, is very unfortunate because they make some very, very good products. I don't want to go too over the top because my eyes are pretty over the top, but we're going to go ahead and highlight that brow bone. I do need to groom my brows. Don't look at them. Alrighty, so here is the finished look for the Shop My Stash. Absolutely love how it came out. I've been kind of leaning more into cool tones lately than I typically have in the past. I still don't like mauves, that kind of cool tone, but like a blue or silver, that type of vibe, I'm all about it. So I am so happy with how everything performed and everything turned out. It just reaffirms to me that I made good choices with the makeup that I own, and that my stash does have some great things in it, and I don't necessarily always need to buy everything that I see that I want. Right now I'm trying to dupe the new 6-pan Morphe palettes that came out because I really, really, really want one of those. I think it's called Python something, the one that is really speaking to me. But I'm like, I don't need it. I'm going to try to dupe it in my own collection, but I don't know that I can. I hope this video will inspire some of you to take a look at your own makeup collection, maybe use some things that are gathering a little bit of dust or you just haven't touched in a while, haven't thought about in a while, and rediscover why you loved it, why you purchased it in the first place. That's going to be it for my video, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!